Okay, you have the Bang Olufsen E8 third generation, official release date February 14, 2020. That is the worldwide release date. I believe it got a head start in China last month, January 2020. This is unmistakably the third generation, as you can see. The box itself states that it is third generation. The box also states that it is Bluetooth 5.1 as well as boasting a 35-hour playtime. At the back, it just shows you that it has the wireless earbuds as well as the leather charging case, which is wireless at this point. And it also boasts that it has the Bang & Olufsen signature sound that it's famous for. Opening the case, you will see that you're first greeted with the nice leather wireless charging case as well as the two earbuds. Slipping the wireless charging case out, you have a pull tab over here. This is all leather. This is not faux leather. This is real leather. You simply lay it down on a wireless charging pad and it will be charging wirelessly. If you do not have that, or if you don't want to buy the wireless charging pad, which is an additional $200, you can use any Qi certified charger. At the back, you do have a updated port, which is the USB-C. There is an indicator light in front here. When I open the case, you can see immediately there is an LED light here. Right now it's shining green, and if you are charging this, it's going to be blinking orange to say that it is charging. I love this case, as I said, because it has the aluminum chamfered edge. Very elegant, very classy. Okay, let's talk about the earbuds for a minute. It is now 17% smaller as B&O claims. Obviously, because it's smaller, it is now lighter. As you can see, it is now perfectly round. There is no weird notch. You can see the B&O logo over here has been updated on the aluminum panel. Before, the B&O logo used to be very centered, very prominent. Now it's onto the side, very understated, very elegant. And before I take it out from view, you can see that there is a notch over here by the B&O logo. That is one of the mics. There are two mics now in every AirPods. So that means it is actually 4 mics, which makes 4 beamforming mics versus the AirPods Pro and AirPods, which has 2 beamforming mics. Behind, you can see that there are 2 metal connectors for the charging. On the outer side of the metal connectors are actually the slots for the magnet so that it can grip the case. And then you'll see that there is a marking for left and right. I'm holding the left right now, and above the left marking is an LED light which shows you the connection status of each AirPod. Below it is actually another hole where that is the new base part, which gives this set of AirPods more oomph. Putting it in the case, similar to the other first and second version where it connects with the snap. Holding it and taking it out is easy. You simply grab it by the edges. Let's talk about touch controls. All the touch controls and the wireless earbuds are right in front in the aluminum panel. This is different from the AirPods and the AirPods Pro where you simply tap and you first touch. This one is a slight gentle touch, and you can adjust the volume up and down. You can change the mode to transparency. You can change track, answer a call, and if you triple touch, then you can actually call up the voice assistants. You have a pull tab over here which shows you the accessories that it comes with. The first you can see is that you have an additional 4 sets of ear tips. You actually have a total of 5 ear tips. 4 of them are silicone and 1 is a Comply foam tip. XS, S, M, and L silicone, and as I said, a medium foam tip. You also have the USB-A to USB-C connector if you don't have a wireless charging pad. I have a wireless charging pad, which is why I just keep it here. I don't need it. You have the quick start guide which shows you the controls and pairing in different languages. That's all you get. Let's put this aside and let's discuss the features in detail as well as comparing it with the AirPods and the AirPods Pro. Before we go any further, I just wanted to show you again in comparison the packaging of the Bang Olufsen E8 third generation which is compared to the AirPods Pro, which is right over here, original AirPods design, which is right over here. As you can see, you have all this packaging for the Bang & Olufsen. In reality, you have this one and this one. That's all you need. So how does the Bang & Olufsen wireless charging case compare with the AirPods Pro? Bang & Olufsen is shaped like a pill, a giant pill, versus the AirPods Pro case. You can see there is a bit amount of thickness to the Bang & Olufsen case, but in terms of height, the AirPods Pro is taller. In terms of length, you can see that this is longer for the Bang & Olufsen. In terms of case opening and closing, they are the same. There is a loud snap with AirPods Pro versus the Bang & Olufsen, whereas there's an elegant soft close. But both of them gives an assuring opening and closing. Taking out the earbud from the Bang & Olufsen case, you have to take it out from the edges, and it's held by two magnets and gives a nice solid snap. It's like a DQ where you can flip it upside down and it doesn't fall. As for the AirPods Pro, there is some getting used to and trying to handle this. Obviously, people who own this have mastered it by now, but you basically grab it from the rear at the tallest edge and then you push it forward and you can grasp it. Same with the other one. Hold it by the tallest edge, push it forward, and you can grasp it. The material here is very smooth and it's very shiny. It is slippery at times, which is why I am protecting the case with a silicone versus the Bang & Olufsen case where you can handle this more rough. It's more protected. You don't need the case anymore. You don't need to protect it any further. Design wise, you can see they're much different. Apple has stuck with their stems versus Bang & Olufsen, which has stuck with a rounded design. Everything is in your ears versus Apple where there is a stem that's hanging by your ear. Obviously unmistakably Apple, and this is in a way unmistakably Bang & Olufsen, especially with the logo that you can see and the aluminum over here. Control wise, Bang & Olufsen is the winner. I like the way they incorporate a very sensitive touch in the Bang & Olufsen aluminum panel for both the left and the right. You do a simple touch to activate features, as well as double touch and triple touch, as well as a long touch for both left and right to control the volume. On the other hand, Apple does a force touch in order to control the track, play, pause. You cannot actually adjust the volume here, and you have to either use your watch or you have to use your phone to control the volume, versus Bang & Olufsen where you can actually control everything just by touching, double touching, triple touching, as well as holding your touch. Bang & Olufsen has an introductory price of $350 for the third version. Apple is cheaper for the AirPods Pro at $249 US, and if you want to go even cheaper, then they have their original AirPods design, but the second generation at $159 if you don't like the wireless charging case, as well as $199 if you want to go with the wireless charging case. In terms of Bluetooth being the latest release, Bang & Olufsen equipped this with a 5.1 Bluetooth feature versus the AirPods and the AirPods Pro, which is still at 5.0 understandably. Bang & Olufsen has an app to download. It's not mandatory, but if you want to adjust the sound setting, if you want to update the firmware, as well as rename the earbuds, then you need the app. It's not mandatory. You can simply connect it right off the bat once fully charged, but again, if you wanted to customize it, then you want to download the app. Apple has no app. You can't adjust the sound signature, but everything is built in the iOS if you want to rename the earbuds as well as update the firmware. As for charging, Bang & Olufsen, as I mentioned, has the USB-C at the back and the Qi wireless charger at the bottom. As for Apple, you have the Qi wireless charging at the rear also, as well as their Lightning connector at the bottom. Microphone. Bang & Olufsen has 2 mics per earbuds with a total of 4 beamforming mics. Apple has one single mic here and another single mic here, so dual beamforming mics. Frequency response, Bang & Olufsen states that these go from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Apple has not advised their specs. They simply say that this is equipped with a custom high excursion Apple driver with a super efficient high dynamic range amplifier. For sound codec, Bang & Olufsen is the winner here because it comes with an SBC, AAC, as well as aptX capability. Apple, being Apple, works with AAC codec as well as SBC for Android devices. The chip, Apple has an advantage here only if you're in the Apple ecosystem because it has an H1 chip, which gives it the ability to interconnect between Apple devices very instantaneously. This does not have an H1 chip. Obviously, it is a Bang & Olufsen. It's meant to work with both Windows, Android, and Apple devices, but because of the Bluetooth 5.1 feature, it also has a nice instantaneous connection. There's a little bit of lag, but unless you are comparing it with the AirPods Pro with a dedicated H1 chip meant to work with Apple devices, then the lag here is negligible. In terms of touch interface, again, Bang & Olufsen has the best implementation here, which is a nice simple touch. With the AirPods Pro, you have the force sensor. I would have liked them to have a touch sensitivity here by the stem. In terms of battery life, Bang & Olufsen is the winner. It has a 7-hour battery life. Apple gives you 5 hours for the AirPods Pro as well as 5 hours for the AirPods second generation. If you add the charging case, then you have a total runtime of 35 hours here for the Bang & Olufsen and 24 hours for the Apple AirPods Pro and the AirPods. Material-wise, Bang & Olufsen is the winner. Leather, aluminum on the side, aluminum panels here, as well as a nice solid polymer and silicone ear tips. Apple has nice shiny polymer with silicone ear tips. IP rating. Bang & Olufsen is the winner. It has an IP54 rating. That means it is dust and water resistant versus Apple AirPods Pro, which is surprisingly just IPX4, X meaning it's not dust resistant. Weight. Bang & Olufsen is 5.8 grams or 0.20 of an ounce versus the AirPods Pro, which is 5.4 grams or 0.19 of an ounce. So this is 0.4 grams lighter. If you really want to go light, then you want to go AirPods second generation, which is just 4 grams at 0.14 ounces. As for the case, this is 55 grams. The AirPods Pro is 45.6 grams. And again, if you want to go lighter, then AirPods second generation is just 40 grams. In terms of providing you with the ear tips, I mentioned that Bang & Olufsen gives you a total of 5 ear tips. 4 of them are silicone and 1 is a foam. Apple just gives you 3 sizes of silicone tips, and the AirPods original obviously does not have ear tips as it just sits on your ear. Wireless charging, both of them are Qi capable of charging. In terms of cable, I prefer Bang & Olufsen's USB-A to USB-C capability, which is now standard among a lot of devices, including Apple's iPad Pro. I was honestly surprised that Apple still equipped their AirPods Pro with a lightning connector versus a USB-C connector. In terms of sound is very subjective. You can measure it all you want, but all it's going to tell you is that it is capable of reproducing a sound within a specific frequency range. The final judge will be your ears. Despite not being able to adjust the sound, I still like the overall output of the AirPods Pro. It's very loud for the small size. It has a nice amount of bass. as well as a nice amount of highs. B&O has their sound signature, which to me is a bit on the warm side. Again, they have an app where you can adjust it, but despite my fiddling, I still find that I can't find the happy medium and trying to get the perfect amount of bass, a perfect amount of treble, and a perfect amount of mid. This for me is more forward in my ears. Don't make a mistake. These are earbuds, so there is basically no sound stage here. It's all attacking your ears, but in terms of which is the most aggressive, the AirPods Pro is very aggressive. It's very forward. Bang& Olufsen, I have to commend them because they have produced a nice soundstage over here, which is not too forward. It's a more laid back approach. Just to reiterate, if you want a more rich, fuller sound, forward sound in your ear, this is what you want. Bang & Olufsen has a more laid back, warm sound, but a better soundstage in my opinion. Then this is what you should go for. For those who are familiar with the Bang & Olufsen sound signature, this is a no-brainer. And for those who grew up with the Apple ecosystem, then this is a no-brainer.